So I know what you're thinking, that doesn't look like where you went to sleep last night, and that's because it's not. This is a different parking area actually. So I'm now in Colmar. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and all these other vans are people still sleeping. I've got up, got ready, driven to my next destination and parked up before they've even woken up. So let's go see what Colmar's like. Colmar's much bigger than the places I've visited yesterday, and so one of the advantages of being here early is there's less traffic and less people, and therefore, at least in theory, far less noise. Oh well. So the bells are actually coming from competing churches. I've seen at least 2 big churches already, and I think the bells are coming from at least 3. I'm not the only tourist out and about, so the camper van parking place where I've stopped is of course pay and display. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know what I think of pay and display car parks, so I won't go into that. But it means I had to pre-decide how long I was going to be here, so I've paid for 3 hours. That should be long enough. I've got other places to go, so and the coffee shops look like they're starting to open, or I think some of them are open. I've seen some people sitting drinking coffee, so looks like a good place to get breakfast somewhere. Right, I'll stop making you giddy and let you get on.
Mais pas maintenant, tu m'appelles quand t'es là-bas. Je viens chercher quoi? J'ouvre le marteau piqueur dans la voiture. Mais il a été cassé dans... Non, j'ai cassé la...
So that croissant was good, but nowhere near as good as yesterday's croissant. I was really spoilt yesterday. So I know I've found the touristy bit because, hold on a second, I've found the touristy train thingy.
Avec quoi?
So you can tell that this is a much bigger place because it's got 2 sightseeing trains. So as I said, Colmar, which is where I am now, is a lot bigger than the places I went to yesterday. However, the kind of cute old touristy bit in the middle is actually quite small. And yeah, I preferred the places I went to yesterday, mainly because they were small and easy to navigate around. I've kind of wandered around, and if you're not careful you walk out into kind of the modern high streety shoppy bits. Yeah, it's kind of a mix here, lots of modern shops and things, and yet all of these really old buildings. So this is a good illustration of my point. So that's the old kind of quainty bit, and then this is kind of like a lot more modern, and they're kind of right next door to each other. That's right if you like the juxtaposition. Well, that sounded slightly French, but so is 3 hours enough? For me personally, 3 hours is more than enough. I've kind of done all the looking around that I'm intending to do, and I've been here about an hour and a half, and that includes having a croissant and a coffee. If you wanted to visit all the museums and everything, it would probably take you a lot longer. But as a kind of stop off passing through, I'm kind of done. However, for those doing guided tours, I've seen about 5 already, then I'm sure there's plenty to see. Maybe I haven't done justice, but I think if you came here first, before the places I went to yesterday, it would be fantastic. But yeah, I just prefer the quaint little villages, I suppose. It's personal preference. As I said, it's popular with guided tours. So don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely opposed to big modern cities with a quaint medieval centre. I am planning to revisit somewhere later in this trip that I went to a couple of years ago and didn't have very long to spend there, which is Rothenburg, which I thought was amazing. So stay tuned. It'll be a few weeks before I get there, but from the last visit I did to Rothenburg, I really thought it was amazing. So we'll see later on in this journey what my current take on the place is. Okay, so it's now 10 past 10 in the morning, little village stop before I make the run over to Germany. Well, drive, I'm not actually going to run. I parked just on the edge of the village and then I'm going to walk in, because obviously in the centre of town, centre of the village, I'm not sure what the parking will be like. Okay, heading towards where that pink coloured building is, where those cars are at the moment. Okay, I found cobblestones, that's always a good sign. So this is where I am at the moment. It's a little village just outside Colmar, and it will be my last stop in France before heading over to Germany. So, okay, this is much more my sort of place. I'm not talking about the patisserie, I'm talking about the village. And it's just starting to rain a little bit, so hopefully it won't last very long. So I am literally walking around the town because this town or village is built on a circular pattern. That does, however, mean that most of the sight lines are quite short. So, oh, I'm going to have to cross the road because there is a big truck behind me. Okay, as the sign says, this town is uniquely round, which is true. Again, pause the video if you want to read that bit. So some of the buildings here look extremely old. It's a beautiful place. It really is like stepping back in time. There looks like there's somebody there offering little bits of cheese or something, which could be dangerous, but we'll see. So I just had a little square of cheese. It was very nice, but as I have a huge amount of cheese in the van at the moment, I was not tempted to buy any more. So it didn't really rain. There was a light spatter of about 20 raindrops, just enough to make me think about putting my jacket on, and then it stopped. So I know some of you would enjoy this. I will be walking past. Of course, with this round aspect, literally there's something new to see around every corner. So I've come to the main high street and obviously the tourism office.
Voilà, c'est ça, vous revenez avec la prochaine fois.
D'accord, bah merci beaucoup.
Mais avec plaisir.
Bonne journée à vous.
Bonne journée.
Okay, the noise you can hear is the man getting rid of weeds with a miniature flamethrower. Well, if anyone fancies a cheeky drink, this is obviously the place to buy one. And stuffed animal. You can pause the video if you want to try and name all the animals in the shop. You can add the animal names in the comments below. So I've just crossed into Germany, heading toward Freiburg, and I'm making my first fuel stop of the journey. So I've got about 120, 130 miles left in the tank, but I've not seen very many petrol stations. So I spotted this one on the way into town, made a slight diversion off the roundabout, and yeah, diesel here is 164.9, so not bad. So I've just got to that point where French words and phrases are starting coming into my head. I don't know what all of them mean, but they are. And of course now I've just been into pay for the petrol, diesel, and having to say thank you in German, so great. So another first for the trip, first traffic jam of the trip. I don't know how long it's going to be. So I'm actually in Friedberg, which is where the traffic jam is. So I don't even know how big Friedberg is. Oh well, it's an experience. So the problem was roadworks, 2 lanes narrowing into one, and yeah, 1 lane closed off. So that's what's delayed me for about 15 minutes or so. Oh, so not in a traffic jam now, but I am in an area where the speed limit is 19 miles an hour and there are lots of safety cameras, so which is why everybody's driving so slow. what I found in the middle of the mountains. Great, I needed a supermarket, so I'm going to pop in and get some provisions. So I've managed to stock up on food, enough for a few days anyway. I also got myself a little treat. Yeah, I know it's not very low carb, but it has got cinnamon in it, which is good for blood sugar, he said. Okay, enough with the afternoon snacks. Well, quick lunch. Where are we? So I've arrived. This is where I'm going to spend the night. And let's go and explore. So to save me trying to pronounce it, that's where I am. Okay, let's do it then. So this is the lake. It's a little bit windy, so I'm not sure how much wind noise we're going to get in the mic. Hopefully not too much. Okay, having said that, I think there's a lot of wind noise in the mic. I am going to walk round in that kind of direction where you can see, and see if I can get away from the wind a little bit. The wind's fine, it's just very noisy for the mic. Okay, I've found a bench in a little sheltered bit. So I'm going to sit down for a couple of minutes. The train station is right behind me. Hold on, I'll show you. That's the train station. And the track runs right along the side of the lake. Hold on a minute. As you can see, the railway track on one side and the lake on the other. There's a boat. I'm assuming you can go for kind of sightseeing rides around the lake. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but there is music on that boat. I say that in the loosest use of the term. I don't know how long a trip around the lake would take, but I don't think I could stand that music for however long it would take to go around the lake. If it's your thing, I'm sorry, it's just not mine. Everyone to their own, right? So I'm going to answer a question that I know somebody's bound to ask, which is, did you go in the lake? Did you go for a swim or a paddle? You'll notice there's not a single pedalo or person in that lake. It's May, and I'm guessing this is a lake fed by mountain springs, so my suspicion is it's pretty cold. Okay, if I do so without actually falling in, I should put my hand in and let you know. Yeah, that is pretty chilly. So, true to my word, lakes and mountains. Okay, the sun's come out and it's pretty idyllic. By the way, it might be a few days before this gets posted because I'm currently not anywhere with Wi-Fi, I don't think. So yeah, at some point I'll edit it and then upload it when I get Wi-Fi. So I've walked further around that headland bit, and this is the other side things I do just to give you a view. And the path carries on in that direction. And then the lake just carries on going. I'm not sure how far I want to walk. I've probably come as far as I want to go. I'll probably walk back. So let's see if we can get a few windows on the lake. That building you can see on the right hand of this is where I started walking from, and the campsite or car park is just behind that building. Oh look, and here comes the train. We should be pulling into the station, or maybe not. The line actually goes through. Will it stop? No. That's not stopping here. So you can just about see my van in the distance there. It's the white one, just kind of to the edge of this barrier. More bells.